Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Um, if I give you a piece of candy and you try it and then, I don't like it, and then I give you the same piece of candy, I don't know, in 2 hours and you say, actually, it's very good. What would I take out of that? And I'm talking about the Snake Island in the Black Sea. That's an island that Ukraine has now. It used to belong to other countries before, but hey, it was taken by a guy called, I think, Stalin, anyway, or whomever. They got it, they were given to Ukraine. It's in Ukraine's possession. That's fine. Now, what happened? If you remember this Snake Island, and I will just give you a little bit of geography positioning here, so is in the Black Sea. And this is Ukraine, this is Russia, this right here is Moldova, this is Romania. Now, Snake Island is right here, where my cursor is, which I will do it. This is in the Black Sea. This is where it's at. So you see, this is Romania. This is the Danube River coming this way like this. And all this is the delta right here, the Danube River. And here, this is Ukraine. Used to be Moldova, but, given to Ukraine again. This is Odessa right here in the north. This is right here is Sevastopol, and this is the Crimean Peninsula. Krematorsk right here. So from here down belongs to Russia now. From here north to here is Ukraine. From here belongs to Romania, and this belongs to Ukraine, the Snake Island. And this is the Snake Island. They're fighting for this, a piece of rock. Anyway, if you remember, the Russians showed up here right, I think on the 24th or 25th of February 2022, last year, and with that famous, response from the Ukrainian garrison here, saying, F you, come and get it, and then they came out and surrendered to the Russians after that. Anyway, and they were then exchanged in the prisoner swap. They didn't fight, because if you remember, there were some reports that, oh my God, all these guys were mowed down. They were killed by the evil Russians because they didn't surrender. And it was not so. They surrendered after they said that piece of thing. And then it's the same thing as, if you remember, what's his name? Ben Wallace, I think it was his name. The governor in South, remember? He was the governor when he was the, how do you call that? Integration in a 55, 56, whatever it was. He stand in front of the high school and said, well, blah, 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 blah. He moved to the side, and those guys completed their so-called integration. The same thing. Hey, we F you, and then came and jumped on the Russian ship and were taken to Russia as prisoners. They're very, very, very courageous. Anyway, this is where the whole thing occurs, and I want to talk about it right now. So we have this article, and it's from the Kiev Independent. If you remember, as I said, the Russians took over in February, and then after that, the Ukrainians, in about, a month or 2 months, they took over back because the Russians left. I think the Ukrainians blew up a S-400 or S-300 that the Russians deployed on the Snake Island. So then the Russians said, well, we're leaving, there's nothing there. It's a act of goodwill. That's how the Russian called it. They said, leaving the Snake Island is an act of goodwill. Yeah, you retreat. It's unnecessary, we don't have to, we don't need it. We don't need it. Well, it seems like you kind of need it now, right? Don't you? What's going on over there? So anyway, let's move on. So anyway, now the Ukrainians got it back after that because of the goodwill from the Russians. And here is what happened last night. Russia conducts 4 airstrikes on Snake Island overnight. This is from February 11, 2023. From Kiev Independent. All right, so all of a sudden you like the candy? Seems like. 2 Russian Su-24 aircraft conducted 4 strikes with airdropped bombs on Ukraine's Zmyny Island, Snake Island, a small but strategically important outpost in the Black Sea. Overnight on February 11, Odessa's city council reported, citing Ukraine's Southern Operational Command. No further details have been provided. So this this island, this whatever piece of rock, Romania did not ask for it back when they signed all kind of weasel treaties with Ukraine in order to become a member of the European Union and NATO. They had to. When you do this, I think with the European Union, you have to sign a treaty with each and every of your neighbor. I think a NATO too, where you say, well, I have no territorial demands from your country. That means you're not going to drag the alliance into a territorial, grab or anything. So Romania then, being as they are, Romanians, the sold out politicians said, this is a no strategic interest, has no strategic importance, this. But all of a sudden, Ukraine and Russia are fighting like crazy, and these guys are saying that a small but strategically important outpost. So which one is Romanians? We know which one it is, because you were just weasels. You just were selling us the politicians who are in the pockets of big countries that are the players here too, the same countries. There's nothing changed. Instead of Soviet Union, now is Russia, and instead of United States is still United States. Russian troops occupy the island in the early hours of the invasion, but Ukraine eventually pushed Russian troops from Snake Island in late June. Now, they didn't push it. The Russians, what they call it, a goodwill move or something like that. Yeah. Odessa City Council. Now, Odessa is right here north of it. Right from here, you go here. So this was Odessa. Probably this belongs to the Odessa Oblast or whatever it's called. Authority. So reported that 3 Russian Onyx anti-ship missiles hit the coastal area of the region overnight. There were no casualties according to the authorities. I mean, look at this. How can you... what is to be hit here? Is nothing. It's just, I don't know, 3 snakes and 5 bugs. Moscow launched dozens of air and sea-launched cruise missiles at targets across Ukraine in its latest mass missile strike on February 10th. 2 Russian caliber cruise missiles were also reported to have crossed the Ukrainian border with Moldova and then entered Romanian airspace. Now we already know that this is a lie. They didn't enter Romanian airspace according to the Romanians, and they say on February at 12:14. The Romanian defense minister came out about 45 minutes after Zaluzny, the commander-in-chief of Ukraine armed forces, came at 5:50 something a.m. Kiev time, and he said, well, 2 rockets, 2 caliber missiles shot from the Black Sea entered the airspace right here of Moldova and Romania right here. And in about 50 some minutes, the Romanian Minister of Defense says, no missiles crossed into Romanian territory. They were 35 kilometers east of it, but we scrambled to MiG-21s. Then the Ukrainians continue to say the same mantra. Yeah, they entered the Romanian territory. Why? Because they reported a NATO member state's airspace was violated by the Russians, which is, come on, NATO, attack Russia, basically. Again, like it happened with Hungary when its missiles went here. Remember that one? No, Poland, right here. And killed 2 Polish farmers or whatever that was. Again. So, yeah, you see how it is here? 2 Russian caliber cruise missiles were also reported to have crossed the Ukrainian border with Moldova and then enter Romania. That's what already they said no. What are you talking about? Are they lying? NATO is lying? No, it can't be. Are you guys lying? No, it can't be. No, who's lying? I don't know, but just read it and memorize it. The missiles crossing into Moldova was soon confirmed in a statement by the Moldovan Defense Ministry. Romania's Defense Ministry has denied Ukrainian claims that the Russian Caliber C launched cruise missiles entered Romanian airspace. Then why do you put this as a fact here? Why do you put it as a fact? Because you have it as a fact? So you have it as a fact that caliber entered. Well, whatever. The Romanians said, no, 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 we didn't. All right, probably NATO said, don't escalate this further, but they could have used it for other little weasel moves, if you know what I mean. So anyway, in a statement posted on its website, the ministry acknowledged that the missile did enter the airspace of Moldova. Yeah, okay, reportedly passing just 35 kilometers past the Romanian border on its way to Ukraine. That is what I knew about it. So again, it's about this little thing here, which Romanians, when they gave and said, oh, we have nothing about it, it's fine, you can keep it, Ukraine. Now, because it has no strategic importance, that's what they said then. So that's what the Romanian politicians said, because it was a failure. You know, it was a treasonous act seen by many. What do you mean? But after all, people, what do you care? It has no strategic value. And the mass media, no strategic value, because the media was already and that's it. And you say, oh no, Romania, yeah. Well, how do you think things work in Ukraine? When I tell you, oh, it's a sovereign, it's a anti-corruption. I have people of the various, how should I put it, persuasions and various positions in Romania. Friends, acquaintances, you know, not partners, but anyway. And they tell me about Ukraine, Ukrainian influence. And they tell me about this. That's how should I put it? What they say. They're very concerned with the Ukrainian mafia going in Romania and the Moldovan mafia going into Romania, buying all kind of territories, lands and locations. They have money somehow. And this hasn't been in the past, I don't know, 3 months or something. So I know stuff what's over there and not what these guys tell me. And this is what Romanians are telling me. And believe me, they're not toddlers and they're not what's his name, like Biden, 3,000 years old. They don't know what the fuck they're at. Anyway, they're somehow fighting for the Snake Island, unimportant strategic point. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.